What's going on, family? I'm Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to continue to examine 100 years of world championship fights. Now, June 27th, 1939, Al Harstock knocked out Solly Krieger at the Civic Auditorium in Seattle, Washington. The referee was James Buddick, and he stopped the contest in 45 seconds in the fourth round. It was for the NBA middleweight championship crown. Al Harstock, his name was Albert Paul Harstock. They called him the Savage Slave. He was born January 7th, 1916 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. He died August 13th, 2006. He was 90 years of age at the time of his death, and he would reside in Seattle, Washington. Now, I met Al Harstock. Very interesting fighter he was. And Solly Krieger, his name was Danny Arbach. Born March 28, 1909, Brooklyn, New York, and he died September 24, 1964. He was 55 years of age at the time of his death, and he would reside in Brooklyn, New York. Now, he fought from 1928 to 1941. Had a total bout career of 113 fights, 82 wins, 25 losses, and 54 knockouts. He was stopped 3 times himself. You're looking at Solly Krieger. And he would participate in a fight with Al Harstock June 27th, 1939. But he would be knocked out in the fourth round. June 29th, 1939. Joe Louis was in the middle of his Bum of the Month club against two-tone Tony Galento. He was dropped in the third round. It was for the World Heavyweight Championship crown. And he would finally get a shot against the Brown Bomber Joe Louis. Joe Louis, in the third round, was hit with an unbelievable punch by Tony Galento. But Louis would come back in the fourth round and put an end to the slaughter. The vicious left hook right hand combination. It was at New York's Yankee Stadium. Referee was Arthur Donovan. He stopped the contest 2 minutes and 29 seconds in the fourth round. Tony Galento was 29 years old. He stood 5'9". He weighed 230 pounds. He had a 72-inch reach, and he had a fighting record coming into that bout of 76 wins, 23 losses, and 53 knockouts. 25-year-old Joe Louis stood 6'1.5". He was a heavyweight with a 76-inch reach. He had a fighting career record coming into that bout of 38 wins, 1 loss, and 32 knockouts. Now, I'll tell you something about two-ton Tony Galento. He fought a trainer of mine, and a man that I respect 100%. R.I.P. to him. His name is Paul Cavalier. It was for the New Jersey Heavyweight Championship belt. Paul Cavalier would defeat Tony Galento. And he told me a lot of stories about Tony Galento. They called him Two-Ton Tony. The man who walked like a beer barrel. Or a beer barrel who looked like a man. New Jersey Nightstick. He was born March 12, 1910, Orange, New Jersey. Died July 22nd, 1979. He was 69 years of age at the time of his death. And he would reside in Orange, New Jersey. Now, he fought from 1928 to 1944. Had a total bout career of 112 fights. 57 knockouts. 26 losses, and he was stopped 6 times himself. He was once trained by Jack Dempsey. He was 28-3 as an amateur. It was a story about Jack Dempsey, who climbed into the ring in Stillman's gym. That flattened him, because he was mouthing off to Jack Dempsey, according to the onlookers. You see, Tony Galento had a way about him that if you couldn't take his jokes, it would really get to you. But he was one of those sarcasm, always had something to say. But Tony Galento, on the inside, from my understanding, actually cared about people. Now, he once ate 52 hot dogs and earned $10 for doing so. Knocked out Lou Nova 14 rounds. And Tony played trunk on a waterfront with Marlon Brando. So moving about a fighter that was hard on his luck. 1954. Now he opened up a nut club bar. He also opened up a restaurant. 1970. Introduced into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. 1977. He suffered from diabetes, and his left and right leg was amputated. 1979. He suffered from a heart attack. July 22nd, 1979. He was admitted to the hospital, Livingston, New Jersey. It'd be there where he would pass away. Quite a character was Tony Galento. He'd always tell Joe Louis, "I'd murder the bum." But he could fight. He could fight. Shout out to Tony Galento. 2-ton. Nice stick. The beer barrel that walked like a man. They would say he would drink beer in between rounds. Something else was Tony Galento. That fight took place June 29th, 1939. As I stated, it was in the middle of the so-called Bum of the Month Club.
Referee's been warning Galento about holding with that left and hitting with his right. Hard left to the jaw by Galento. News up with the count of 2. This is a surprise.